Hello, Internet! It has been a busy weekend. Lots of things have happened. We have just had the last European National as well, won by another Spanish player. So, big respect to the Spanish players this year. Two European National champions, and they don't even have a national themselves. So, big respect to the Spanish players. But we're here on Battle Spot, and I don't know, maybe you might recognise this team, maybe not. This is the team I used in the Glasgow Regional, which was the beginning of February this year, but I've changed what was the Lapras to a Rotom Wash, as you can see, on my friend Tyler's recommendation, and I quite like it. It works out. The team is a lot different to what I normally do use. I'll start searching for a game. Oh look, we've hopped over 1,700 off camera. There's no pranksters on here. There's no I don't know, Encore on this team. There's something with Intimidate, which I don't normally use. It's very not my style, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be interesting. I've done a few games with it on, Showdown this evening, and it's gone alright, I suppose. So let's see how it goes on here. I've changed Amungus's item as well. It's now holding a Chesto Berry, just so that I've got a little bit more for Smeargle, I suppose. The original version had a Mental Herb, so not too much of a difference there. I just thought Mental Herb wasn't too necessary, seeing as I've actually got Quick Guard on this Hitmontop. Interesting that I'm using this Hitmontop here as well. Me and Lee Provost used Hitmontop in the Glasgow Regional. Lee got to the final of that tournament, and now we've seen all these a few more Hitmontop in the Italian National as well. So it's interesting to see it come around again. But we found an opponent, and it is one of these annoying Big Six variants with a Xerneas. So I think Hitmontop Ho-Oh is alright, or Hitmontop Latios, I think, because this Latios is Scarfed. We did see actually Scarfed Latios get to the final of UK National as well. I was the first person that I saw this season at least using Choice Scarf Latios, which is quite interesting. I used it initially because Crobat was really big at the time back in February, and I really just couldn't be bothered with it. I just wanted to outspeed them and Psychic them. But as I'm waffling on, I'm wasting time onto. Ho-Oh does look quite nice here, but I'm going to go with Latios, take Ho-Oh in the back, and take Rayquaza as well. I'm not going to lead with Ho-Oh just because he might lead with his Landorus. And okay, I have got Wide Guard on my Hitmontop, and I have got Intimidate on my Hitmontop, but you'll see there's another hidden little move on this Latios, which I think probably does catch a few people off guard too. Even though, I don't know, if I lead with Latios if he does lead with his Landorus, I'm kind of expecting just a U-turn, really, but we don't see that. We see Kangaskhan and Xerneas. So hopefully he won't know my trick, and he'll probably go for a Fake Out on one of these Pokemon, and I'll hopefully be able to trick him. Either we're going to trade Fake Outs, or we're going to hopefully lock him into Geomancy. He might be smart. I have led with two very weak Pokemon here, so really there's no need for him to Geomancy, but on the other side, when you're using Xerneas, if you see Pokemon that don't threaten you, then Geomancy. And that's normally the end of the game, really. So, we'll see what it goes. Maybe he'll, I don't know, Fake Out my Hitmontop probably, and if he just goes for a Dazzling Gleam, then good for him. It'll be locked into it, and I can Wide Guard in the future, maybe. Okay, so we're just going to trade Fake Outs on this turn. I don't mind that too much. Okay. That is interesting because his Kangaskhan is obviously threatened by my Hitmontop, so some Hitmontop that people have been running, especially in this Italian National, have been Focus Sash. So he might double up on my Hitmontop. I don't think he'll go for a Geomancy here, which sort of makes my trick a little bit redundant. I could switch in Ho-Oh, but I don't know if I like that too much. I suppose I'm going to go for a close combat, and I'm going to go for the trick, because if he does just go for the attack, then at least at least my Ho-Oh will just be able to sit in front of it forever. But he withdraws the Kangaskhan, so okay, maybe he's protecting his Xerneas, bringing in some kind of support for it. Maybe not. Okay. So, worst case scenario, he just attacks here, which I am expecting him to do. To be honest. But actually, he goes for the Geomancy, so I'll take that. I will definitely take that. As you might have seen my Latios' moves already, I've actually got Icy Wind on here as well, which is why I was kind of alright leading it with a potential Landorus there as well. Ethan, who came second at UK Nationals, had Memento on his, which I thought was kind of nifty, actually, to help his own Xerneas set up with the Geomancy. But we don't really have much setting up on this team. The Rayquaza has got Sword Stance, but you know, it's not. I mean, it is effective, obviously, but it's not quite the same as just getting the Geomancy boost. So Landorus, again, I'm kind of expecting him to go for a U-turn here onto Latios. Don't think he'll go for a Rock Slide here, but I don't know. I think I'm going to close combat the Landorus slot and go for an Icy Wind, because if he U-turns, maybe it'll be back into the Kangaskhan for Fake Out Pressure. If he doesn't, then I'm getting this Icy Wind off. You know, maybe if I'm faster and Icy Wind him first, and then he U-turns, that'll be perfect. But I do expect him to be faster because, yeah, I don't expect this to knock it out though. But actually, it does. So that's probably a banded Landorus actually. Just because this Latios doesn't have too much speed in it. Actually, it's It's a long time ago since I made the EV spread, but I think it's just fast enough to like get a Crobat or something like that. It's not that fast without the Scarf. But it's actually Groudon that comes in. Okay. So, I think we can take away from this that his Landorus is probably banded. We'll get a bit of chip damage. I mean, Hitmontop is intimidated here, so it's not going to be too good. And the Xerneas is going to be forced to switch out this next turn too. Wow, that's a critical hit. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. But do I bring in Ho-Oh or do I bring in Rayquaza? I think I have to bring in my Rayquaza. I think. I do still have the Wide Guard, so I'm not sure if I want to use it this turn or save it for when he brings his Landorus in, because I'm expecting his Xerneas to withdraw for the for the Landorus, I suppose. I could close combat the Xerneas in case he brings in the Kangaskhan, but I don't think he will do that. We haven't seen anything from this Groudon yet, so I don't know how it can threaten my Rayquaza. You know, a Wide Guard could just be the safer option here. Yeah, it could be. But I'm going to close combat the Xerneas and Swords Dance here. Just because the Groudon is in range of an attack from my Rayquaza here. Yeah, I was sure it would be the Landorus, but I suppose the thing about this play is we get a nice little bit of chip damage onto his Landorus, but we don't show the Wide Guard, which really is probably quite obvious at this point, but you never know. If it protects his Groudon here, then that would be really good for us. But, oh, he actually does. I didn't think he would, because with the Intimidate, maybe he thought he could survive an attack from my Rayquaza, but that means that Rayquaza just gets a free, you know, +2, basically. Well, we're at +1 at this point. The thing is, his Xerneas, thanks to my own doing, is Scarfed now. So, that is not good. Like, even if our Sword Stance again, a +3. A +3 Extreme Speed isn't going to knock it out. So, we're not in the best of positions, I don't think. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we can Wide Guard here and go for the Dragon Ascent on his Groudon. Just because I think he might just Rock Slide here. And I'm not sure if an Extreme Speed, a +1, will knock out his Groudon. Just because I've not got a Life Orb. He will be bringing his Xerneas in though. And so I'm thinking I can withdraw my Rayquaza. He probably won't expect that because I am at +1. And oh, he's got Explosion. Well, I'm pretty happy that I went for the Wide Guard then. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, definitely I'll take that. But now I've got some more choices. Because he's going to have his Kangaskhan and Xerneas. It Scarfed the Xerneas, so as long as I get rid of the Kangaskhan, then I'm pretty happy. But that Xerneas does threaten both of these Pokemon. Xerneas, like, even back in February, when I was using this team in Glasgow, Xerneas was the problem for the team. You know, I have just this evening thought, you know, maybe I could try out Ditto in place of Amoonguss, because I never really bring Amoonguss. And Ditto could be quite funny, you know, could be quite nice. What do we do here then? Maybe I want my Intimidate. Yeah, I think we do. I'm going to bring in Ho-Oh and Protect here. And just hope that he doesn't, I mean, I think he will, but just hope he doesn't target the incoming Ho-Oh with an attack, you know, expecting maybe like a Focus Sash or something. But I'm thinking with the Intimidate, maybe Ho-Oh could do some better work here. He actually goes for the Fake Out. Well, I'll definitely take that. And the Moonblast into the Ho-Oh. What was the Hitmontop? Okay. That was a critical hit. Wow. Well, there you go. And, we have got a Focus Sash on this Rayquaza, so if he Moonblasts my Rayquaza, then I'll survive, but the fear really is if he goes for a Sucker Punch and a Moonblast onto the Rayquaza. I don't think he'll do that, though, so I'm going to bring in Hitmontop and go for this Dragon Ascent, which at +1, I think, has got a very good chance of knocking out his Kangaskhan. I don't mind if he Moonblast into the Hitmontop here. I've got the Intimidate. The only real worry, is if he just go for a Sucker Punch and a Moonblast onto the Rayquaza, which he hasn't done. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Good. So as long as this does actually knock out the Kangaskhan, then we'll be happy. If you remember one of those videos last week when that Kangaskhan survived on the smidgen. This one doesn't survive though, and because we have got Xerneas, we've got Ho-Oh rather, and he has got his Xerneas that is now locked into Moonblast. We're sitting pretty happy. So, we did just bring Hitmontop out, didn't we? Yeah, so we can just go for a Fake Out. He can't Protect because he's Scarfed in the Dragon Ascent. And if he doesn't forfeit here, which he doesn't do, then an Extreme Speed will just knock it out next turn. If this doesn't actually knock it straight out already. It depends how bulky it is. People have been going a bit bulkier with their Xerneas now, haven't they? Yeah, this one can't take it. I'm at +1, so I suppose it probably would have taken quite a lot of investment to actually survive that. So, you know, Daniel, good game, as people say. And we'll start searching for another opponent. So, I suppose we're in this weird limbo now. I mean, in Europe, I suppose. You know, in the United States, you've still got your, and North America in general, you know, to Canada and, you know, maybe Mexico if some people are going to travel to nationals from there. You've still got your national. There's the Japanese nationals left as well. But in Europe, we've not got any nationals left to go to. I do know one person who is going to United States nationals, which is quite a trek. But otherwise, we're just waiting now. I mean, the championship points will update eventually on the website, and 18-3. That's a pretty good record, actually. One of those is a disconnection as well. And you know, we'll get our top 16 finalised, and then really all we have to do is, you know, maybe watch the meta game and go to Worlds, and then hopefully not X and Y, the other ones, Sun and Moon will come out, and You know, fingers crossed we'll get a new format, which would be brilliant. I think everyone's hoping for a new format sooner rather than later. Honestly, it'll probably be like at the turn of the year again, like it was this year. But you know, that's very, very far in advance. So let's not go thinking about that. Let's start thinking about Lashin, who has got one of these sort of typical teams, but without a jump bluff. So, you know, how shall we go about this? At least there's no Smeargle. There's no Xerneas either, which is nice. But I think Yveltal could do if it's physical with knockoff, that could actually be quite annoying. I think he'll go with his Salamence and not his Kangaskhan. So, I think my Latios is quite nice. I'm going to go hit my top Latios because I've got Quick Guard. I can prevent Sucker Punches and Thunder Waves and stuff like that. And Rayquaza is always a must, I think. And do we want Ho-Oh? Or do we want something like the Rotom, which could also be nice? Ho-Oh. Yeah, I'll take Rotom. Sorry, Ho-Oh. I'm just a bit paranoid about Groudon having a rock move, which is fairly common these days. But, you know, let's see how we go. My first game went quite well. If this one goes terribly, then, you know, at least we're 1 out of 2. That's not too bad, is it? So he does go with his Salamence, yeah. There's a good chance he'll maybe Protect and Tailwind here. So I could go for a Fake Out onto the Talonflame and Dragon Pulse, because an Icy Wind won't knock it out, unfortunately. He didn't have any fairies, did he? No, so Dragon Pulse is neutral on everything. The Salamence could protect as well. And I kind of am expecting the Salamence to protect. So would it be really bad of me to go for a Dragon Pulse onto the Talonflame as well? Like, you're staring down a Latios and a Fake Out. Your Salamence is not faster than Latios, so surely you want to protect it. Try and get the Tailwind, but let's try and make a big boy play. Let's go for the Dragon Pulse onto the Talonflame. Hope he protects the Salamence. If he doesn't, then, you know, whoops, I suppose. Quick Guard. Okay, so I'm doubting we are going to see a Protect here then. So maybe his Salamence is going to Tailwind. That would be strange, wouldn't it? Oh no, he's just going to Draco Meteor. Okay, well, there we go. Whoops, you know, as I was saying. Yeah, that's frustrating, because I could have just gone for the Fake Out onto the Talonflame and just a Dragon Pulse onto his Salamence. You know, and this is one of the things I actually remembered when I was playing with this team back in February as well. The amount of times people just do that, and I just could just take the knockout there, and they just let me do it. But you know, I can't complain too much, can I? He's at -2. Rotom's looking all right here. Hitmontop is not looking too good here. I think he's going to go for a double edge onto the Hitmontop, and I've got no way of stopping that. It's probably going to Tailwind with his Talonflame as well. I'm not going to bring my Rayquaza in on a double edge. So yeah, we're not in the best of positions, really, are we? Hitmontop will go down to even a -1 double edge, but we'll try and close combat the Talonflame in case he switches something for some reason. He is withdrawing the Salamence. This is probably his Groudon coming in, actually. Yeah, it is. So, again, frustrating. He's probably going to Tailwind here, but actually, yeah, I'm close combating the Talonflame. I might maybe rather the Talonflame stick around this turn, because it's just going to give him a free switch back into his Salamence with a potential Tailwind here, which is exactly what is going to happen. And he will be able to just threaten my Rayquaza. And this is just going to be a really quick game, so yeah. Frustrating, because I mean, the game isn't over just yet. I mean, Rotom is actually really nice here, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too far into the future. Because Rotom is quite nice here. I mean, I'm expecting his Salamence to come back in. Oh no, it's actually his Yveltal. So he's probably going to go for a knockoff onto my Rotom. That is the worry. Can my Rotom survive a knockoff? I don't actually know. I'm going to bring in Rayquaza, and I'm going to... like, I can't protect this Rotom. So, I'm in a really bad place. I'm just going to try and... Oh, I don't know what to do. I'll just try and Hydro from the Groudon. Yeah. Oh, just if I Dragon Pulse that first turn, we would have been in such a better position. Okay, so there's a knockoff. I don't think I'll survive this, but... Ooh, we do. But if he goes for an Eruption as well, then we are just going to get knocked out. Fire Punch into the Rayquaza. Okay. So if we hit the Hydro Pump, then we're going to knock it out. But that's Hydro Pump for you. Right. So... So if we'd hit that Hydro Pump, the Groudon would have definitely gone down. There is no Groudon that will survive that. He would have brought his Salamence in, and he would have still had his Yveltal. We can protect with Rayquaza. I've got him on top in the back. I still think I would have lost the game. But, I don't know. It is what it is. There's not really any point in continuing with this, is there? No. No, I don't think there is. Just for whatever reason, if he doesn't target my Rotom, then we'll try again. But you know, he will do. You know, maybe if he tries to double target into my Rayquaza, I suppose he needs to target it with the Yveltal to hit it. But I don't think he'll let me have a second crack at Hydro Pumping his Groudon here. And we see the knockoff and a Rock Tomb. Okay, it hits. Which is better than my Groudon did at Nationals. Dear. Lighten up, Barry. It's only a game. Okay, so so we've seen Fire Punch and we've seen Rock Tomb. The Yveltal is intimidated now, and the Groudon is intimidated too. He's still got his Tailwind up though. But that Groudon can't really... I mean, he can get the speed drop onto my Rayquaza, and that is probably the biggest issue. A knockoff on my Rayquaza might not knock it out, because, you know, it isn't -1 now. But he has still got the Salamence in the back. I'm just gonna, like, if I'm gonna win this game, it's gonna be through some kind of mistake, I think. I think he will, well, hopefully it's a double protect here. I think he will Rock Tomb my Groudon, but I think we are still in Tailwind. That was his last turn of Tailwind, and I can only fake out one of his Pokemon. So I don't think a double protect was maybe the best play there, because now I do outspeed. And what have we seen from Yveltal? We've seen knockoff. Is that it? And protect. So, presuming it is physical, it should have Sucker Punch. And I think he will Sucker Punch my Rayquaza here. So I'm going to go for a Dragon Ascent onto the Yveltal and Quick Guard. Because that Groudon, you know, maybe he'll miss his Rock Tomb, I don't know. But again, he's still got the Salamence in the back. Okay, he doesn't even go for a Sucker Punch there. But I'm still expecting a Rock Tomb. I mean, he's intimidated. Like, it's not going to knock me out, but the speed drop just means that he will be able to outspeed me and get another Rock Tomb on me the next turn. You know, if for whatever reason his Salamence doesn't choose to knock out my Rayquaza, which it really should do. So, you know, either way, we've just sort of prolonged the inevitable really here, haven't we? I should have just gone for the Dragon Pulse turn 1, but, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Isn't it? Like you can't really judge plays like how people are going to play on Battle Spot. And I suppose that's really the case for just making the safest move possible. And what I did wasn't safe. I tried to, make a bit of a naughty boy play, like I think I said, trying to catch this Protect on Assailants, but he just didn't go for it. Even if my Latios isn't scarfed, it is naturally faster than an un-Mega Evolved Salamence. So, I'm sure you all know that, but, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Even, like, an extreme speed critical hit isn't going to knock the Salamence out here. I don't think it's going to be silly enough to go for a Hyper Voice, but, just on the off chance, we'll go for a Wide Guard. But I'm pretty sure he's just going to go for a Double Edge. That's all he needs to do. Yeah, it does a nice amount of damage. He does actually go for a Hyper Voice. He hits the Rock Tomb. But we... Okay, so because he did go for the Hyper Voice there, and I don't know, I did have the defense drop, but I think I would have survived that. Maybe we would have had some mind games next turn. I still think I would have lost, but it's just another nail in the coffin, isn't it? Like, I don't know, next turn maybe he would have protected this Salamence, anticipating an extreme speed onto that, and gone for another Rock Tomb onto my Rayquaza, which would have still knocked it out. In which case, I don't know, protect my Rayquaza close combat, and that does nothing really. Maybe his Rock Tomb misses. There is that 5% chance. I know that very well. But it's just one of those games, isn't it? Sometimes BattleSpot can do this to you. So we're not even gonna let him, or are we? I don't know. Okay, apparently we are gonna let him knock out our Hitmontop. Tried to forfeit there, but I waffled on too long. So. What can I say? Either way, I hope you've enjoyed watching this, guys. We've had a bit of a hit and miss in this episode, haven't we? So thanks a lot, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to like and share. Get people into my channel. I do appreciate all that. So thanks a lot, guys. And goodbye for now.